All right, so let's give you what you came here to see, which is the unveiling of the top 20 riders who have clinched entry into the motos at the SMX races. We'll start with the 250 class. As you mentioned, JT, no surprise to see Hunter Lawrence at the top when we combine Supercross and Motocross standings together. He won both titles. He will start with 25 points in his pocket as this begins. That's his reward for being the best rider in the traditional championships heading into this. Impressive. If you told somebody at the beginning of the year Haiden Deegan would be ranked second, I don't think they would have believed you. It's an unbelievable rookie season overall.
It has been, and he is going to be a threat. If you look at his improvement and just the growth that he's gone through over the course of this season, look back at Washougal just a month ago. We were considering him to be he could be the pro motocross champion. He was only a handful of points out. You couple that with this great Supercross season that he put in and the confidence that he's carrying right now. If anyone is thinking he's out of this thing to end up being the Super Motocross 250 champion, they're fooling themselves, because I think he has his eyes squarely set on that.
Yeah, and I think he feels this pro motocross thing is one that got away from him due to bad luck. Love to have a chance at revenge just a few weeks later. Levi Kitchen is actually ranked third. When we heard we were going to have a playoff format, I think everyone started thinking, well, who are the riders that can get hot suddenly out of nowhere? That is exactly what Levi Kitchen is. You never know what you're going to get, but when you get the good Levi Kitchen, he wins races. So he's going to be a threat as well. And then R.J. Hampshire, he got hurt at Unadilla, but JT, the plan is for him to be back for these playoff races.
Yeah, he should come in healthy. He took a really big hit there at Unadilla, but I think he's in a place where he's going to be rested, recovered. He's probably got a few laps logged on this kind of hybrid Supercross track as well. So with his starts, they were, how good his starts were all season long. He can absolutely be a threat. And I don't think he's on the minds of many people because he missed the last few races there.
Okay, we'll run into the rest of the top 10. Joe Shimoda is fifth, missed some Supercross rounds, but came back toward the end and then piled together with his motocross points. He is ranked fifth, so he'll have 17 points coming into the playoffs. Tom Viel, Max Voland, Justin Cooper sneaks his way in, cannot race 250 Supercross, but he will be racing 250 class of SMX. Jordan Smith, kind of quietly, is ninth ranked in points. He will be back from injury as well. And here's one of the few riders we're missing. Jet Lawrence actually ends up 10th in the rankings, but he will not be competing in the 250 class. So they're not going to move anyone else in automatically. Jet just won't be on the line, and that'll be another position that a rider could earn through the LCQ.
Yeah, I just want to touch on Justin Cooper briefly there, because remember, this is a former 250 East Coast Supercross champion, right? This is a guy that has basically pointed out of 250 Supercross, but this gives him a window to come back in. And you think about the format of this, there aren't going to be the Supercross style whoops that we're so accustomed to, and then the starts are going to be so important for this type of race. Guess what Justin Cooper excels at? All of those things I mentioned. So he had a ton of momentum coming out of pro motocross. This is an opportunity for him to right the ship before he leaves this 250 class for good. And I think he's going to come in highly motivated.
Rest of the field looks like this. You'll have Jalik Swoll. He's ranked 11th. That means 11 points going into the playoffs. A rookie in Ryder DeFrancesco did not race Supercross, but did well in motocross. He's 12th. Talon Hawkins, we suspect that Max Anstey, who gets in via his Supercross points, will be back for this event. Pierce Brown, Dylan Schwartz, Carson Mumford, Caden Broswell, that's a good story as well. Was on multiple teams this year, but combined the points together, he's in. And the HBI Racing Kawasaki team said they will take him into the playoffs. And then that drama at the end. JT, Seth Hamaker rallying. He was outside the top 20 before our finale at Ironman, and he ends up 19th, so he's going straight in.
Yeah, it was an interesting story for him because I think he wanted to finish strong and have a really good Ironman, but he couldn't, air quotes around the word send it too much, because he would put himself in danger to not get the necessary points to jump into that top 20. So he mentioned that on the broadcast of finding that fine line between a good result and also not taking too many chances. But forget all that now. It's playoff time, and he can absolutely go for it when we roll into Charlotte.
Now, Chance Hymas actually ended up with the 20th position, but he is out with a torn ACL. He will not be returning for the playoffs. So essentially, he and Jet Lawrence are the only riders in the top 20 rankings of the 250s that will not be racing our playoff rounds. And that leaves two more openings for the riders in the LCQ. So let's get to the riders ranked 21 and back, and who'll be eligible to race. Okay, so let's show you the riders that were actually ranked 21st through 30th in the combined Supercross and Motocross points. So what you're going to find with this list is a lot of these riders are injured. We know that Enzo Lopes and Jeremy Martin would be racing this event. Their team, Club MX, supports SMX with other riders, but they're out hurt. Same for Cameron McAdoo, Nate Thrasher, a lot of injuries. So we'll show you the actual riders that have committed to racing all 3 rounds in the LCQ. It starts with Chris Blows. This is a neat story, JT. Phoenix Racing Honda is going to pick up Blows. They want a playoff eligible rider. They got one. They're also bringing the team back for Cullen Park and Cody Schock. We haven't seen them race since Monster Energy Supercross. It's Blows, Derek Kelly, Park, Austin Forkner, Schock, Preston Kilroy, Josh Faries, Michael Hicks, Hunter Yoder, and Luke Neese. Those are the riders that have said we will show up at all 3 rounds and race their way in. And there's 4 spots available for the motos through this LCQ for 10 riders. So a lot of opportunity here.
Yeah, this is great, and it's a real mix of inexperience and some veteran guys. You know, you look at Cullen Park, who is 2022 Supercross Rookie of the Year, and then a guy like Austin Forkner, who's one of the winningest, if not the winningest, active 250 racer in the class. So a little bit of everything. A guy like Forkner could get into this out of the LCQ and win the entire event. And then some of these guys are like, hey man, this is my opportunity to make some real money and make a name for myself in this SMX World Championship.
Yeah, another thing to mention, there's a $12,400 purse in the LCQ alone at each race. So even if the riders don't make the motos, they'll still make some money to help offset the travel cost of going to each event. And then the big money, of course, is when we total up the points at the end of these 3 SMX rounds, and we'll show you that here. It's $500,000 to the champion, $250 for second, $150 for third, and it pays all the way down. As you see, there are $250 points fund. So it should be interesting. These riders that committed the first time, we'll see how it turns out. All right, that's it. We've been building this up for over a year now. At 11 a.m. on Friday, we'll have a live press conference, and then we'll have bikes on track at noon on Friday in Charlotte. This is it, JT. The playoffs are finally here. And one more time, if you want to watch Race Day Live, we'll be back. That starts at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time with Dan Hubbard and Ryan Villapoto and plenty of other guests. 2:30 Eastern is our pre-race show. We're racing at 3 o'clock Eastern. You can watch all of it on Peacock or the Super Motocross Video Pass outside of the U.S., or on television at 3 p.m. Eastern on USA Network.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.